Hello, my friends. Today started as the most beautiful of days. Rare for this world, but not unheard of. Bald suns could be seen rising in the east. It was so tranquil, Mad Dog almost dropped his guard and forgot that we were in the jungle, searching for the stinking Warforged Colossus. After the very important breakfast, my little brother Coco began to question our newest of friends, the millitaur. We call him Legs, for the obvious reasons. He has so many of them moving independently. I don't think Mad Dog will ever get used to it. Since the Legs language is mostly clicks and pops, the whole morning was spent hearing clickety-clickety.
No.
Come now, Coco. All I heard was the clickety-clickety-click. This began to unnerve the Lemurfolk with us, the Lemurfolk being Little Chief and his cousin Rubasol. They decided instead of confronting Coco, who is 7.5-foot brick shithouse, they ran ahead to scout. This initially seemed like a good decision, especially since I find Little Chief's cousin a bit coarse at times. However, when we reached the part of the jungle where the canopy blocks out the suns, that is when the scream jolted the air, and we saw the hooks. The hook-like talons that dangled from the branches gave this part of the jungle a nightmare from the butcher shop aesthetic that made the skin crawl. Coco flashed across my vision into the air like he had the springs upon his feet, and he wrenched one of the talons that was attached to a long, muscular leg like that of an ogre. Coco landed with fury in his eyes, and the eyes of his quarry were bloodshot like an orc on a week-long bender. But they pierced the soul. The face was that only a mother could love. This momentarily reminded Mad Dog of his and Coco's mother. She was quite lovely, but I digress. Coco and this ogre monkey thing began to grapple, and Coco, who constantly works on his ground game, scooped the large brute and suplexed him like he owed us the coin. Very impressive. This is when the beast yelled out in the language of the giant. Coco and I speak this quite well. Oh, that potty mouth called Coco a very bad name. I will not repeat it, but I will laugh a little on the inside and save this combination of words for a later date. As I contemplated the many uses for this new phrase, 4 more of them swung down upon us. It did look bleak, but we have survived much worse.
No.
Coco is right. We have survived worse at the tavern. Half in the bag, but I digress once again. This is when our friend and ally Tully the bearfolk stepped into the fray and chanted an incarnation I have never heard before. Then Tully announced to the rest of us that these were called Asanbosam, or in some parts, Sasabosam. I used this moment of clarity to grab the rum gremlin, the one we call vodka, and I cast him into the middle of these Asanbosam. I think when I call them monkey ogres, it's easier than Asanbosam. However, one of the Asanbosam began its own chant as vodka landed. I think this is his futile attempt at a counterspell. We would learn later that there is usually one spellcaster amongst the tribe. It is then that I noticed the iron fangs, that each of these creatures possessed. At that precise moment, the one that grappled with the Coco bit into poor Coco's left bicep. Coco's eyes widened as he tilted his neck and rolled his enormous shoulders. A move I have seen him do many times. It means this shit is on. He then delivered a front kick to the creature's family jewels packed with a fury that no amount of anger management could ever help. We all cringed, even the other Asanbosam. I mean, holy gods and all 9 hells. I fully expected to see 2 testicles pop up by the poor fellow's iron fangs. The poor thing cried out in giant and then said another phrase that would normally make Mad Dog dig a hole for him. But I will let it pass, being I'm quite sure he does not know Coco and I's mother, and it's just the pain of any chance of fornication being smashed. This is when the rest of them surrendered. A good nutshot will do that. The spellcaster who turned out to be in charge told us that the bite upon poor Coco had the poison. Ugh. Before we had a chance, I heard Vodka whisper,
"Try some of this."
I shook my head as I knew that meant he was using his drunken aura magic. At this point we had become quite used to this little one's favorite spell. The Asanbosam, however, seemed to enjoy it and became free with the information, lightweights. They told us, you can tell their age by the size and color of their fangs and claws, and that the younger ones are gray and shine, while the older ones have a rust-like appearance. This is when we surmised that the spellcaster was the elder, and the rest were all the youngins. They assisted us up into the lair to search for any antidote for this poison. It surprised me at the construction and the engineering it must have took to build these nests like houses, not to mention all the ropes and platforms and planks. Their chief gave Coco some antidote, but Tully said this is a crap recipe and would only be good tumpa. I cannot say this word. It would not last more than a day. They also told us they are not vampires. This sent a chill up my spine. Who leads with such a statement? We considered putting a stake through their hearts right at the moment.
No.
Coco says no. He says that is when they told us that they loved that both of the food groups, both the meat and the bacon. They said they also crave the poultry, fish, and the veggies. That's nice. It's the ones that hunt the humanoid flesh that gives the rest a bad name. To that I say no shit. They said when they are ravenous, they will grind iron firelings off their own hooks to satiate the hunger. They eat themselves. They are sick. Unfortunately, so is Coco. This is when the spellcaster told us that down the path a bit is one who can heal this disease from the poor Coco. Friends, by then the night had settled upon the jungle. These drunken brutes offered us shelter, which we took, but not without keeping the guard. If the gods will it, my friends, and Maddog and Coco see another sunrise, it will be a bad day for the puka buck, the flutter flesh, the spinosaurus, the terrible Warforged Colossus, and this clockwork huntsman. Damn, this list is getting long. But first we go see this healer, the Asanbosam, called Baganik. Baganik? Am I saying that correctly, Coco?
No.
Coco says I am saying it correctly. I will take the first watch, Coco. You rest. Vodka, get the finger paints. These Asanbosam would look lovely with some forehead art.